Deconstructing the dream world, one lie at a time.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? You know, for a second there, yeah. I kinda did.
Hello, I'm Paula, and this is Grassroots Music, and tonight I have an amazing guest. Her name is Kat Beach. I have waited so long. I finally got all her music. I at least have 10 songs, and I'm going to play Hard to Hold by Kat Beach, and when I get back, hopefully, I'll have connected, and we'll be talking to Kat Beach herself. Stay tuned on wakeradio.co.uk and weroar.ws.
Glancing back, I see my history. Makes me who I am, but not who I want to be. I'm not so sure I like what I see. Still it is what it is. It's still me. Am I destined to repeat myself? I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. Am I destined to be nothing else? God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? And tell me, why am I so damn hard to love? Is it my heart, my head, my body? I give up. When I'm 6 feet down, will I finally figure out love? When I'm 6 feet down. Chapter 2's a little different than the first. This journey's pulled me through a crazy maze we call life. Opportunities, they've come my way, and I've passed them by with my crazy head, my mind, and my foolish pride. So tell me, am I destined to repeat myself? I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. Am I destined to be nothing else? God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? And tell me, why am I so damn hard to love? Is it my heart, my head, my body? I give up. When I'm 6 feet down, will I finally figure out love? When I'm 6 feet down. I'm not so sure about chapter 3. I'm just now coming round the bend. I could spend more time swinging from those monkey bars. I could spend a lot more time with my friends. Am I destined to repeat myself? I've been trying so damn hard to kill the pain. Am I destined to be nothing else? God, can you come on down and help me turn the page? Help me turn the page. Help me turn the page. Help me turn the page. Why am I damn hard to love.
Hello, I have Cat Beach with us. That was Hard to Love. Amazing song.
That was a really heartfelt song. That was actually probably one of the first songs when we went through the process of writing Love Me Out Loud. Hard to Love was the first one off the emotional wheel. I say that jokingly. I'll explain what that means. Ned Albright, who is my co-writer, who I love dearly, he's an extraordinary co-writer, and he is or I shouldn't say co-writer, he's an extraordinary writer. And I'm lucky to write with him, and he always says that I throw the emotional clay onto the wheel, and he gets to chop it up and create the perfect sculpture. So,
I love that analogy. Perfect.
Love Me Out Loud, Hard to Love was interesting. It's not uncomfortable at all for me to talk about where the songs come from, and it's Hard to Love, the first one that they've heard off the top.
Yes, that's when we started with.
We started with, yeah. Hard to Love was interesting because it was a discussion about how I felt about myself, but also a comment, and I can say this very openly, moms and dads, be very, very selective. Please try hard to be selective about what you say to your children, because they will eat it up and they'll hold on to it. And in some cases, it will shape their lives and who they are and who they become in the future. So everything that you might want to say to them, based on how you feel about the world and the perspective of the world, please be very careful in what you say, because there was a comment that my mother made to me that has been an uncomfortable shaping of my life. And I love her dearly to this day, regardless of the comment. But that song came from a place that's difficult for me based on a comment she made to me about my workaholism. So I say that to start the whole show off with, careful with your words, people, because they can leave some daggers that they
Absolutely, and they, like you said, they stick. Especially these little kids, they hang on everything you say, and it's so important.
And they build.
To say positive things too, not to say negative. Because I know parents are working and stuff like that, and it seems like by the time they get their attention, it's for something bad.
It's true. And it's hard to hold back. I mean, all of us have that feeling. God knows, I'm just going to lose it tonight, or I don't have the patience. And I understand that, and I know you do, Paula. But it's so valuable to understand that everybody wants to be valued and validated. All men, all women, all children, somehow, some way underneath it all, they want to be valued and validated in this world. And we get an opportunity every day to do that. Now, I'm like you, Paula, like everybody else, we all have that day where we're not that way. And so we all understand it. But Love Me Out Loud, this particular album, was really about loving myself out loud and loving other people out loud. Understanding that it's okay to value and validate people. And trying to get out of the darkness, per se. Not to say that it stayed that way 100% of the time. But I think, it's interesting. I'm going to share this analogy with you, or the story with you.
Sure.
Because it was an acting coach of mine. I believe it was Ken who told me. This was ages ago. We're in the middle of a class, and he said, well, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to see how you can be a change in somebody else's life. And in a very simple way. I'm like, okay, what are you going to say today? So, another acting class. And he said, you could have a really busy morning. This is great. Busy morning, and everybody's at the it's local 7-Eleven or whatever gas station you're at, and you have a line that's about 5 people deep. And the person, the cashier, is new. He or she is brand new at it and fumbling and making mistakes, and everybody's frustrated because they've got to get to work right now. And they're late, and you're not, everybody's going up there, and their frustration is hitting off of this person at the cashier line. It's their first day, and so they're making mistakes again, and everybody's giving him frustration and being angry at him, and not having an opportunity to practice patience. And he said on every level, they're getting him more and more frustrated. And said, when you have the opportunity to practice patience, and by the time you get up to the front register and this person is going crazy and insane and losing it, you have the opportunity to stop for a minute, stop everything, and look at him and say, that's a tough morning, isn't it? How you doing? And I said, Ken, you know, it makes a difference for us to actually stop and understand that we all have an opportunity to practice patience, and we all have an opportunity to change somebody's life just by pulling back for a moment and going, oh, this may be tough, but let me be human about it. Because we're all going so fast nowadays, and I feel the same pressure that we don't stop. We don't stop for a second and take into consideration that other people are maybe going through the same thing, or maybe going through a tougher side, or maybe just a smile and a how are you doing today might completely change their world and how they're viewing it. So, you know, starting off by saying that, I think is important.
That's a lot of what we're about here, too, is trying to put out the positive with so much negative hitting at us, and that's a beautiful message, Kat. Thank you so much.
Well, and it's something that people can deal with on a daily basis, because we all go through it, whether we're at the gas station or the grocery store, and God knows, maybe everybody's, 10 people back. You get the opportunity to change that person's life by the time you get to the front, if you really stop, pull back, have some patience, and go, this person's probably just as frustrated as me. So if we all could stop for a moment and do that, that would make the world perhaps a better place than we know it. So.
True. Everyone who hears this, do that. Do something nice. Change somebody's lives, and let's see if we can cause a ripple. Just a simple question to somebody who, maybe it's a front desk person. I've been a front desk person before. I can't tell you how many people, have made me feel like I was about the size of an ant. But the people who came in and said, how are you doing today? They made me go, whoa, wait a minute. Somebody does care and somebody does value and validate me. So I just think that that's a really good message to send. Matter of fact, our second album that's coming out is all about the love. And it really does send that value and validation message. And if there's anything that I think is more important nowadays, it is value and validation. And I can't wait to hear the new album.
Oh, it's gonna be
We just
fun.
love your music. I was so excited to get it, and you can ask Dan or the rest of them, Dan Hagen, the rest of them. I do actually play it a lot, so I'm loving to share. If you have a website that you could put out there, anything about you that you would like to promote, please feel free to say so.
I will. It's catbeach.net. I was strong on the net. Tom Schaefer would appreciate that. He does a lot of my photography and all of the web work as well. And we couldn't get the .com, but back in the day. But actually, there's something I do want to talk about right off the top, and I think it's important. First off, I want to say thank you, Paula, for having me on, and I love the fact that you love the music, because it really is a sit down and have a conversation music. It really is, it kind of digs deep into the psyche. And I'm proud that I have, like Ned, who allows the opportunity to come across to other people, so you have a chance to feel something. I also am blessed to have an incredible team. I think that more of us should stop for a moment and actually look at the team that we have around us. The people who believe in us, care about us, and want to see us go forward. And sometimes, again, we go so fast that we forget about that. And so I want to give a shout out to my team, because I love them and they make me who I am, and they hold me up, and I hold them up as well. And it's been a great experience. So I have Tom Schaefer at MiamiTom.com. He's done 10 years of my video work. He's done about 10 years of my photography. And Leanne Lewis, who has managed me and helped me move forward. These are great people in my life, and I'm really grateful for them and the time that they put into me. Tim Davis and Chris Conlon, who have just done a video for Risk Me, put their time in, and they didn't have to. Along with Mary Beth and Nicole and Patty and Mark, you guys have done incredible work with me. And if they're listening tonight, thank you guys. Risk Me is off, as you know, Paula, off of the Love Me Out Loud album. Happens to be the highest seller, and it was a moment in my life that I really
I love that. Should we play that one next?
That should be the next one we play, and hopefully you'll all have a moment to stay with me for the next couple weeks, because both Chris and Tim are in the process of editing the video. They just sent me up to Rochester to shoot it, and it was a great experience. And this group of people around me have been amazing. And shout out to the people on the album. Ned Albright, who is my right-hand man, my everything in music. I had the luxury of having Lee Sklar, Dean Parks, and Herman Matthews play on the album. It was lucky enough to have, of course, a lot of background vocals as well, and I had Fernando Sanchez work on a lot of the percussion, but Kim Yarbrough and Jay Cambodi did all those background vocals, and it's been a blessing to experience them. And it's been so much about Cat, 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 and what Cat sings in Cat, because you hear me as a vocalist, that you forget, or people forget, the extraordinary group and team around me that have made it happen and are going to make the next album happen. And it's been a blessing. So I want to throw them out there and say, honor them and love them. I'll put them up on my page because they're extraordinary people. And I wouldn't be even a quarter of where I am today without them. So I want to throw that out there first and foremost. And I don't know, do you need to come in and play one of the songs? Or?
No, I just think that's amazing. Wow, you do have a huge team working for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just enjoying the music. I rarely think of anything but Cat, but all of these people that come, there she is. Wow, great song. And then all the people and all the work it took to put all this together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it took years of work. It's taken a lot of just a lot of life lived and a lot of people loving me out loud to make it happen. And it's a common belief of mine that if we think we can do it on our own, we're full of baloney. It's impossible.
That's true. That's so true.
It's something you have to do with everyone around you, and I'm just blessed. Couldn't have been, and I will say that some of the, I'm not sure for those of you who have been following some of the Facebook stuff lately, Celine Bosch and Betts Wilson have done the last photo shoot for me, which was kind of a fun launch into some of the different sides.
Oh gosh, that's incredible! Can I try to share that on the chat line? Your
absolutely,
Facebook?
By all means. If you can do that, that's fine.
Okay.
It's been a
it's incredible. You're so very beautiful, and these are amazing pictures. I've just got to share them.
They made me beautiful. I tell you what. Wait, let me give a shout out to Amy Young. She's a makeup artist here in Nashville, Tennessee, and she made me beautiful. That between Celine and Betts, they all it was a great shoot, and it was kind of a little bit of a launch, and Tom Schaefer's been taking all my photos for ages, and nowadays that's really how you get out there in terms of your music. Because there's not a lot of major companies that promote you anymore, so our job is to get the music out there, but also have some pictures that are kind of fun and exciting around it, and never ever ever be afraid of your body and who you are. Never be afraid of your sensuality as a person. It's important. It's part of who you are. It doesn't make you a bad person to want to be a sensual person as well. And so, again, going along with the same theme of Love Me Out Loud, of who you are. We have so many different complex parts of our heart and who we are that we should walk every day and go, you know what? Accept me. This is who I am. And so I will say that there was one part, or not one part, major launch into Love Me Out Loud. This particular album came from an extraordinarily difficult place. I suffered from panic disorder. Matter of fact, acute panic disorder, and for some people they know it as post-traumatic stress syndrome.
It's very terrifying. I have a sister that suffers from that.
Okay, so you know it. You've seen her have some panic attacks before?
Yes. It's just terrifying for her, and not an easy thing to deal with for anyone afflicted with this.
For people who think it equals weakness, indeed it does not. And for people who are out there who are listening to the show right now who suffer from panic disorder or post-traumatic stress syndrome. Matter of fact, we have a lot of soldiers who have come home who are suffering horribly from PTSD. And they are re-diagnosing them because it's also a very expensive disorder to medicate for those who choose the medication route. And it's sad because it really truly is a biochemical disorder that happens in the body. For what purpose? There are lots of different thought patterns on whether it's hormonal or whether it's because you have had a major episode happen in your life and it's really shifted the way the norepinephrine works in your brain. So, or I should say, the hormones work in your brain. Norepinephrine is one of them. I won't get into the science of it, but I will say that it shattered my life for 2 solid years. And I didn't.
And you're so confident, and you hit the stage, and everybody just brightens up. The whole room shines, and I would never have guessed. Never in a million years. Yeah. And it's important, and you know what's funny? It's funny, Paul, you say that. There are a lot of people who say that, because it's been and I don't say that as a pat on my back, I say that is to people who are going through it, there is life after panic. And that's so important for me to say, because during the process of, you never think you're going to get out of it. When I started to come out about it and discuss it with people, I got a number of emails from people discussing how they could get out of it and what I did and so on and so forth. And I would just, sometimes IM people back and forth. A lot of men, soldiers, people who come back and not knowing what to do and not wanting to medicate, and then men who just didn't want to discuss it because it equaled weakness. Wanted to know, was there ever going to be a day when they weren't afraid to walk out of their house? I mean, from stockbrokers to soldiers to businessmen to moms, so many people are afraid of it. And it took a lot of mentoring on my behalf, but that's because a lot of people mentored me. Susie, and I won't say her last name on air, but Susie ... was a great friend of mine. And I remember vividly the one turning point in my panic disorder. And this is, during a time when I really never thought I'd get out of thinking past today. Because when you have panic disorder, you stop dreaming about the wonderfulness of the future and the excitement of it. You live only from moment to moment because you're afraid that you'll have a panic attack in front of people and you will either pass out or embarrass yourself. And it really is a daily dysfunction, and it's very uncomfortable. In my case, it was a hormonal shift, and so it took a number of years to rebalance me. However, Susie said to me, she goes, "Kat, you had a life before panic." Yes, I said, "Yes, I sure did." And I was walking on the treadmill, and she goes, "And you've seen that she was a lawyer," and she said, "and I've gotten past it, and I'm living my life without medication." I said, "Yes," and she said, "And you will too. You will get past this. You just have to keep fighting through it and letting go." And it was an interesting moment because I could finally see that somebody else has gotten past it and that I wasn't alone in it. And probably the most important message I could send right now is that you're not alone. Don't panic. You're not alone. That's super important for people to know who are going through it. Reach out. You can talk to me, email me, IM me. I'll talk about everything associated with it, and now I can get up on stage and perform, and I live life, and I don't have panic attacks anymore. And it took some work getting through it, but there are hundreds of thousands of people suffering from it right now, and they're not discussing it because they're terrified. And they're terrified they're going to lose their jobs if people find out. So. True. Once you have opened that up, it is. How do you get to somebody? I know you're going to inspire someone tonight, at least one person. I hope so. That's all that matters, because that one person may be past panic disorder into agoraphobia and won't even leave their house. And as far as I'm concerned, it matters. It matters that somebody out there is saying to them, listen, my entire album was written after panic disorder. If you listen to Love Me Out Loud, you're going to hear You're Given Road. You're Given Road was written after it. Stand Up America was right during the process of Mercy of Your Hands, Love Me Out Loud, Burning Up the Years. A Whole New Thing was after I finally came out of it.
You know, these were, the whole album was about really recovering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Also finding faith was really important to me, Paul. What was it?
Absolutely.
Believing in something bigger than who you are. Choosing to believe in what you cannot see is a tough thing to do, but boy, oh boy, did it change my life.
It can be so rewarding.
Yeah. 100%. So
Should we play Risk Me now? Should we
I
go to...
think it's great. Either that or you're giving road.
Let's see.
I like them both.
I did too. What was the other one again? I found Risk
You're
Me.
giving road. Actually, you're giving road might be a perfect time for this if you can.
There we go. Got it. And this is Cat Beat.
We all walk this long, long road back home. Sometimes it feels like we're walking all alone. The path is paved with jagged stones that penetrate down to our bones. And we've heard 1,000,000 times to just move on. It don't matter how low you go. It ain't ever too late to just let it go. We've all been there down on our knees, begging for our souls. But don't stray too far away from your given road. Sometimes you wake up in the night, freezing cold, and the fear keeps holding on just like a storm. In the darkness your mind is spinning out of control, but you're not alone. It don't matter how low you go, it ain't ever too late to just let it go. We've all been there down on our knees, begging for our souls. But don't stray too far away from your given road. Look outside your front door. There are hundreds of thousands, maybe more, praying for faith to help them cross back to the shore. Praying for faith, for something more. Walk through that door. It don't matter how low you go. It ain't ever too late to just let it go. We've all been there down on our knees, begging for our souls. But don't stray too far away from your given road. He gave us dreams to share before he brings us home. Don't stray too far away from your given road.
We're back. We roar.ws plus awakeradio.co.uk on Grassroots Music with Cat Beach. That was amazing.
Hey, I'm glad you guys like that one.
Oh, wow.
in the road. That's a very special song to me. Probably one of the simpler songs that I've penned with Ned Albright. But I had just come back from church. I was having a faith-filled moment. And I was in a real, again, after panic disorder, and some people know it as, again, post-traumatic stress syndrome. But I was lost in my own self. And I had spent the beginning of my life as an actress and a performer and on stage. And I went through a huge part of my life where I stopped performing. I was terrified to perform in front of people. I mean, to the point where it stifled me. I couldn't even ponder the thought of doing it. Some of my very closest friends, Michelle Dubuque is one of them, kind of pulled me out of my shell and said, "Now I'm going to make you perform no matter what." And God knows that was the most anticipatory anxiety I have ever felt. But
it's hard to imagine because I have seen you perform, and things light up when you walk out. You just have this energy and this ease, and so you would never think that you weren't born on that stage.
Dear Lord, Paula, I love you for saying that.
Man, the first I ever heard of you was when I went to Nashville for the Music City Liberty Fest there. And I was just blown away. I was there with the National Health Federation and with Awake Radio there that night. Yeah. And, wow, it was like, whoa, who is she? So that was my first time ever to get to hear you. And, of course, to see you perform live was really amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you going to be going? Are you still live?
In Nashville, yeah. Myself, and, I did shout out originally to Dan Hagen. But let me say honestly, Dan Hagen has been just a golden light in my music. He has been there to play guitar for me because he really is just supremely talented. Very few people have suffered for their craft like he has and lived the real life musician. He is a true blue musician, and I respect him a great deal. And he has been there to really to push me forward when I didn't want to go. Certainly, has been there to play for me, and he actually performs with me in Nashville. And we're going to start moving forward again. We took a little moment away for one purpose. Once I get into writer's mode, I kind of disappear into writer's mode. And we have just finished Ned flew in from LA a couple weeks past. And we finished up, It's All About the Love, which is the new album coming out. And it really took, a moment to go to a different level. So, again, we'll start going back out and performing again after we finish demoing some of it, because we're going to go through the process of actually recording this particular album, probably back out in California. But I got to give a huge shout out to Dan, because Liberty Fest and all of that would not have happened had we not believed in not just my voice, but the message in the music. And that's been a blessing. So again, there are a few people that I look at and go, I honestly honor you for standing behind what you believe in, and he is indeed that person. So shout out to Dan Hagen. And
I agree. I love Dan Hagen. I love his music. Play it constantly too. Play it all the time.
And a great album. His first album, let me tell you, Blood, Sweat, and Tears is what that album should have been called. And I say that with greatest respect. He bled for that album, and he's so supremely talented. He's a jazz fusion.
Yeah.
He lives it. I mean it every day, every night, and I honor him for it. But so, are we going to go out and play again? Yeah, we're going to start playing again soon. It's just taking a little moment for me to back up and do some writing. Something else I really stand for, are the mentors among us. And I think it's incredibly important to talk about being a mentor to people around you and having the comfort zone and the respect for the people around you to want to mentor them. If there are kids around you that really need you and you have the opportunity to share who you are or something in your life, it could really profoundly affect them and change the direction of their life. And I have been blessed to have people who have done that for me. And so I want to shout that out for anybody who's listening. If you have an opportunity to really gosh, take a day out. Take a day, even though we're all struggling to make ends meet and life happen, take a day out to love somebody else out loud, just for a moment. Give them the moment of your knowledge, because we all have something that is supremely unique about us that we have, that we can give to someone else, and it might change the whole layout of their life. And had these people not come into my life, mine would have been vastly different than it is today. Matter of fact, I probably would have been torn apart by panic disorder. But I had some great people who really stood there by me and said, you know, Kat, I'm not going to let you fall, and I'm going to help you move through this. So I just want to throw that out into the forefront as well, especially on the Dawn of the Youth album.
Should we play Love Me Out Loud?
Ah! Could not be a more perfect time for it. Throw that in there, Paul.
I love your music. I love your voice.
Nice choice.
Yes. You said that, and I just love listening to it. This is Love Me Out Loud by Kat Beach.
Woke up this morning, didn't want to get out of my bed. Thinking about you and how you mess up my head. Who's right or wrong just don't matter at all. I'm tired of being the one who always takes the fall. I'm a quarter to five, watching the clock unwind, ain't gonna waste more time, try to get you to love me out loud, scream my name in a crowd, till the world is so damn proud. Come on and show it, come on and own it, baby. You always say you want the best for me, but all your sweet talk ain't ever gonna make it be. Turn left, turn right, I never know which way. Your actions never speak louder than the words you say. Quarter to five, watching the clock unwind, ain't gonna waste more time trying to get you to love me out loud, scream my name in a crowd, till the world's just so damn proud. Come on and show it, come on and own it, baby. To anyone you pass on the street, am I everything that you've ever dreamed of? Do I make your life complete? If I do, you better love me out loud and scream my name in a crowd, till the world is so damn proud. Come on and show it, come on and own it, baby. Till the world is so damn proud. Come on and show it, come on and own
That was Love Me Out Loud by Cat Beach. We were talking about
I know
a couple of places that we had been. Yeah, we talked about Atlanta. Oh, my goodness.
The Liberty Fest, we did the live video. Chris Conlon and Tim Davis did the live video of the 11 o'clock experience of Stand Up America.
Not a wonderful time of night to have cameras around after.
No, certainly not 4 of them. But I gotta give Chris and Tim a hoorah. Go guys, go, because they saved it.
They did a great job.
I love them. They're great. Matter of fact, speaking of, I don't talk a lot about Stand Up America. Interesting because politics and faith, religion, obviously, are difficult experiences because people are so strongly attached to what they believe in.
True.
Or some people are not strongly enough attached to what they believe.
Also true.
Stand for something or you will fall for everything. That goes a long way. However, I will say that Stand Up America on the album is much different than when Dan Hagen got his hands around it and created more of an Anthony feel to it, which I love a great deal too. The original Stand Up America is a lot more slow and introspective. And I will be honest in saying I wrote it. It was a 9/11 remembrance. I was watching it on TV. I was just having one of those days. And I was actually thinking about person to person and standing up for what you believe in. Whether it's right or wrong, it's everybody's perspective of what they think is right or wrong. But if you truly stand up for what you believe in, you're accountable for your actions. Accountable on a daily basis for your actions. And that's where Stand Up America came from. Because I'm a strong believer in that. And, we all fall short of the mark sometimes. But if we stand up every day and are accountable for what we believe in, that's important. Even if it's something as simple. People see on my Facebook page quite often, I didn't want to jog this morning, but I got up and did it anyways. Or it was a crummy day today, but I finished it with a jog. To me, my accountability factor is showing up in my own life to make sure that I'm strong physically and emotionally so that I can be the best person I can be to people around me. And again, there are times when life happens and we fall short of it. But if I have the opportunity on a daily basis to hold myself accountable, I try very hard to do that. And another message I think is just so valuable, gutturally valuable, for people to stop pointing the finger at everybody else for what is going wrong.
Yes.
I am a strong believer that you look in the mirror and say, what can I do today that's going to make a difference, not just for my life, but for the inner circle around me, because that inner circle will hopefully live by the same, energy that you give to them, and perhaps they too will have their inner circle learn, and as we do, that becomes a larger and larger and larger circle. Something as simple as I'm getting up to walk today because I care about the body that I was given. Something as simple as saying, you know what, I'm going to choose not to drink sodas today because I care about the body I was given. Something as simple as I'm going to stop today and I'm going to tell one person I really love them and I think, God, you just are an awesome person. Because I care about the mind that I was given and I care about the energy around me. So everything that you're accountable for your inner circle. Stand Up America was really stand up. Start really believing in yourself personally, caring about yourself personally, giving a beep, beep, beep about what you do in your daily life.
Absolutely.
And I'm not preaching, but because I have been a fitness professional as well, I'm the first one to say, what you do to your own body is the message that you send out to people around you. Doesn't make you a bad person if you're obese. Certainly doesn't make you a bad person if you're morbidly obese or super morbidly obese. It doesn't make you a bad person. But what you care about yourself on a daily basis is what the message you're going to send to people. So if you have a problem with body transformation right now, it's not about body perfect. Because the first one to tell you body perfect is not worth dying for. And people are putting all types of crazy stuff in their body to make perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And that is not worth it. I've been there. It is not worth it. I have a whole other show we could do on that from having been in the fitness industry. So besides doing music, I'm also a fitness professional. So I do both of them, and they work very well together because they keep me sound and solid as a human being, hopefully doing the same for others. So the message I send is if God gave you a piece of machinery free and a heart that from the day you come out of your womb to the day you die, it beats without anything you have to say to it. You don't make it beat, you don't make the muscle flex, it beats. It keeps you alive, and hopefully from day of birth to day of death. Our job is to take care. Now, in fact, your only job really is to take care of your heart, make sure that it is healthy, as healthy as it can be, and to be accountable for what we put in our mouth every day, and the type of exercise we do, not just for body perfection, but for the way we feel and the energy we give off to people. Because when you feel really crummy about yourself and you have very little energy, it's very hard to give energy away and be loving and validating and value other people when we're feeling really crummy about ourselves. So it takes step-by-step, day in, day out procedures. And I go back to Stand Up America because, again, it seems to me, and I'm willing to be wrong in this, and I don't want to be too vast in my comment on this and be over the top, but I will say it seems to me that people have become far too comfortable pointing the finger at everybody else for what's happening. It's very easy to point a finger at the government, although I have a whole bunch to say about that too, which I'll refrain from. Very, very easy to point the finger at our mother and father, although they do shape who we are as people. But there comes a time when we become accountable for who we are. What we eat, the exercise we do, what you do for your journey, your given road. Yeah, matter of fact, what we started the album after Hard to Love, your given road. What is your given road? Don't stray too far from it. We all have all these little moments we do, and we have to do other things to make money, but please don't stray too far from your given road because God gave that to you, whoever you call God. And I honor you all for all your different religions because what you believe in that you cannot see is very important. It's faith, it's bigger, it's extraordinary. And so believe in it and love it and allow yourself to respect the fact that whoever that power was, they gave you something extraordinary. And all of us know that. Inherently, we know what our given road is. And I so hope that people will stand up and do what they're supposed to be doing. Even if it's a little uncomfortable. You know, I can certainly say that it hasn't been comfortable for me. But I'm grateful, for instance, to be on your show right now, Paul, and be able to express to people, whoever's listening, that your given road and your true talents, when you follow them, you will feel alive, you will feel excited, and you will want to value and validate other people at the same time, and you feel good about yourself. It all works in one big cycle. It's hard to get to, but I challenge everybody to do it. It's a good challenge. There's a good challenge today.
Yeah, well said. I mean, if I could think of any message, this would be it to send tonight.
Really valuable. Sometimes we just burn up some of the old years. We look at them and we're like, okay, they happened. And from today, we can start forward. And I can only say this based on what people have given me and valued and validated me and loved me out loud. And that is the message. 100% the message. Do not stray too far away from your given road. And again, we're all going to stay, a little bit of a tap dance away from it. But remember that when you are following what you're supposed to be doing, it feels awesome. I don't know how else to say it other than it feels awesome. And it's a blessing. And so, matter of fact, one of the songs on the album, Whole New Thing, that came from finally undressing everything. You'd be surprised. I sold everything. It was the most amazing moment in my life. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna give it what I've got to just be me, 100% me. And boy, oh boy, was that an interesting moment. But I gave 9 boxes of just stuff that had been in my attic, in my basement, just stuff that I was holding on to that I thought was important. I gave it, there was one big sale that they were trying to raise money for something in South America. It was, I believe it was a school in South America to give books and so on and so forth. And I thought, you know what? You don't need this stuff. 8 to 9 boxes of stuff I gave to them to raise money. best feeling in the world. I sold my car,
Wow.
downgraded my car because everything was all about image for me at the time. It was all about my Mercedes. It was all about everything that was imaging EE in Miami. And quite frankly, it didn't serve me at all to play into that image because I wasn't serving my given road, which was music and several other things, fitness and doing seminar work. It was important to me to get to that, and I needed to strip down this other self to get back to me. And so that was the curve, and I'm sure people listening right now are going, there's no way in God's green earth I'm going to strip this down. And I can tell you all, you betcha it's tough. But the other side, stunning. Worth the moment, worth the stripping down, worth the boxes I gave to church, worth selling the Mercedes, worth selling the house, worth selling the clothes, worth selling everything. Because I got to investigate what it feels like to be the real me and experience that.
You feel lighter, don't you, without all this stuff hanging around?
Yeah.
Don't you just feel like, whoa, freer?
Yeah. 100%, because you're not playing into the image game. Now, is it fun to play the image game? You bet your bottom dollar. Sometimes it's fun to play that game. If it owns you and it makes you who you are 100% and you're not feeling satisfied in that moment, why play the game? What's the point? Seriously, at the end of the day, why play the game? Be somebody who makes a difference. And I know I sound like I'm preaching, but you know what? I'm finding that what I'm hearing from most people is they're just kind of, don't be, go out there and make a difference. And whatever it is you do, I don't care if you're a singer or if you're out there teaching people how to build an extraordinary garden. Go out and do that. Matter of fact, there's a song. I don't even think did I send you these hands?
No.
I don't know if I sent that in there or if I had Tom send that over to you. I had the most wonderful wake-up call from my grandmother before she passed on. It's too bad I didn't send you that song because it didn't make it on the album because it was written afterwards. After I had plummeted and really let go of a lot of stuff, a lot of image stuff. My grandmother was 100% there for me. She was an extraordinary human being, and I miss her dearly. But I was talking to her about not knowing if I could go, if I could make it through this moment. And I just moved to Nashville and I knew 0 people. So I really, in the middle of the worst economy since, the 30s, I was, let's do this. Now, in retrospect, I probably made a bad decision. However, that particular time to move to a place where 0 people was not my wisest choice, but it certainly made me stronger. I was in front of the gym. And for those of you out there, again, who don't know I'm a fitness professional as well, that's important to me. That's my place of serenity, because really it is the great equalizer. It's because you and steel, you and your body, and you're playing against yourself in the gym. I had just finished a workout, just trying to keep my head straight. Sitting in the car, I was going to go home to write some music, and I called. Her name was Momo. I called her and I said, Momo, this is challenging in a way that I'm not sure I can get through. And she talked to me about back in the day when she said, Kat, letting go of things is important. And sometimes you find yourself in it, which is interesting, in the frustration. You find the real strong sides of yourself. And she said, back in the day, I had to take your father, who's her son, my father, and move back in with her mother in 1937. And she said I was really, she had a hard time with it, not embarrassed, but she had a very difficult time doing it. But she moved my father back in with her, and she remembers vividly that they actually dug up their front lawns not to make flower beds, but to make gardens for food, so they could eat. And I'm not sure the alloy, which metal they put in the knives and forks, but during the time, I guess during that time, it was used for bullets and ammunition for overseas. So they would tell them, come back after the war and we'll refinish your silverware. But there were a lot of things that we don't know nowadays that they went through. And she said she vividly remembered her hands being in the mud out in front of the house where they had built the garden. And she had her hands, she looked at her hands, and she said, I remember vividly saying that these hands can feed me. If I can make this food from the dirt And she was a teacher, an amazing teacher. And she said, if I can teach people, I can get my son and I, back out on our own, and these hands can feed me. These hands can feed me. These can, what I own.
Wow.
And it was an amazing moment, she said, and she's a tough, tough lady. Loving. She's from Louisiana, so she had that loving spirit and that great accent, but she was very tough. And she said, now, Kat, every morning you wake up, you look at those hands and you say, these hands can feed me. These hands can feed me. And they will. And then she said, now, darling, I have to go because I can't talk about this anymore. It hit a chord in her that was really tough.
Yeah.
And I went home, I wrote these hands. And it was probably one of the hardest songs I've ever written because it really was that moment of saying, yes, I believe that I can take care of myself. And during the time when the economy hit the floor, so many people didn't think they could take care of themselves. That's why I got about 7,000 hits on that video instantaneously, because people were hearing it. It really talked about waking up, Sunday night and I'm waiting for another week to begin.
Yeah.
Tough time to be in. And it was a valuable moment in my life. A valuable lesson from her. And when I went through another tough time in my life earlier on, my father had me come home and he wanted me to help him build an herb garden. So all the lessons that we send down the line are very, very valuable. So whole new thing and giving up and changing image, letting go, becoming, being strong enough to stand for what you believe in. I couldn't more important thing to say.
I totally agree. Maybe it's time to play Stand Up America.
Might as well do. You want to sing the new one, newer version, or the older?
I only have one version.
You only have one version? Go ahead, hit it.
Okay. I need
prosper in this land. Start a little family and make a simple plan. Now it seems so hard to get through each and every day. The great American dream has slowly slipped away. Step one, step two, step three. What do we really need? Step two, step three, step four. Do we really need another war? What are we dying for? There's a battle raging for every working man. Just to feed his family, he fights every way he can. So what do we tell those soldiers who sacrificed each day? When they come home with problems that just won't go away. Go away. Step one, step two, step three. What do we really need? Step two, step three, step four. Do we really need another war? What are we dying for? Stand up, America. Stand up, America. I ask you, what are we dying for? All around the world, people are pretty much the same. Slightly different faces, slightly different names. So why are we fighting when we all want the same damn thing? And why won't the ones who lead join us when we sing? When we sing. Oh, step one, step two, step three. What do we really need? Step two, step three, step four. Do we really need another war? What are we dying for? Step one, step two, step three. What do we really need? Step two, step three, step four. Do we really need another war?
Wow. Stand Up America. That was amazing.
I wonder if it was the Stand Up America Part 2 or the original one. I you know what? It doesn't matter either way. It sends a message that is valuable for people to experience and go through.
Absolutely.
I rarely talk about Risk Me, and it's kind of a little off the beaten track. What Love's All About and Risk Me. Those are two songs that. Actually, What Love's All About was kind of a fantasy moment for me. I had not actually experienced that song, and I'm not sure if you have that one to play at one point, but it's the one that hasn't been...
Yes, I do, actually.
Yeah, do you? I love that song because it was such a beautiful moment to actually fantasize after coming out of some really tough times. What love really is all about, and the feeling of being silent with someone and knowing that they hear you. You know what each other is going to say without even having to say it. And I think that's beautiful. And for those of you who have it, I think that's awesome. And for those of you who haven't experienced it yet, I hope that for you. So if you have a moment to listen to what Love's All About, that's a really wonderful experience. So that's one I very rarely touch because I'm all about making a difference, but I very rarely stop to talk about things that are relationship based that way. Risk Me is also another one that was again a top seller. We just did our video up in, I talked earlier on the show about it, but up in Rochester, New York with Tim Davis and Chris Conlon and Nicole and Patty and Mark and Mary Beth. I don't want to forget you, Mary Beth. Tiny Bubbles. I'm sure she's listening right now. There was a scene in it was a bathtub scene in the video that the bubbles thinned out a little too quickly. So, for anybody who's been in a video before, you just hope
ouch!
Thin out while the entire cast is there with lights on you. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
My bubble girl, and just all around great gal, not just the bubble girl, but he had a blast up there doing a great video. Talk about some supremely talented, Chris Conlon from Atlanta Music Fest. Yeah. And also Tim Davis. Did you meet Tim Davis, Paula?
Only briefly. I got some pictures.
Yeah, you probably did get a little bit with him, and Patty, who's awesome. They're an incredible team, and they all support each other. And quite honestly, to be part of it in Atlanta was great, but to also fly up to Rochester, New York, and shoot Risk Me, I'm excited. So you guys stay tuned because the video itself will be out in approximately 2 weeks, I believe. They're doing the edit on it, which is the fun part. And it was a fun weekend. Risk Me itself, for those of you who haven't heard it, was written about a relationship that I was so hoping wonderful, or I won't call him a wonderful man, but a man in my past. was hoping risk me. Thank you, God, he did not. But it was from a number of years ago. But at the time, thank God for some unanswered prayers, because sometimes we beg for the moment, and thank God the moment isn't answered, because sometimes you shouldn't.
Absolutely. Personal experience.
Yeah, you know that one?
Oof, dodge a bullet.
You're right, exactly. Truly, and in this particular case, yeah, I'd have to say that. But I got a great song out of it. So,
well, that's the important part right there.
Exactly. Who cares about the relationship? I got a great song out of that moment. But Risk Me is beautiful. Really, honestly, and I'm grateful for, again, Ned Albright, who is my co-writer in this whole experience, and for the second album, co-writer as well. Again, supremely talented. rare occasion when you have somebody that you write with that is that. He's just a non-judgmental person. He will pull the very best out of you, no matter where you are, when you're doing it. He just has this way of just pulling it out. In this particular,
That sounds like Granada Steve, my partner here with the radio.
yeah, just it feels that same way. The non-judgment, just the experience of just being.
And just all of us together, all the hosts too. You know, a lot of them, they have a lot of better things they could do, but they're usually back each other up. They're listening tonight and they're sharing, and we have we have such a great team.
I love that.
It makes things work, and we all say I love you, and we all just get along so well.
And the fact that you said we all say I love you. That's so important, to say I love you and really mean it. And really enjoy the process of saying, you know what, I really love you, a great person in my life. That is, again, another message both you and I can send out, Paula, tonight is, sometimes something as simple as looking at somebody saying that is just, again, valuing and validating people. So,
some people will wince when you say it. They're so not used to just someone saying that to them.
Yes.
They're like, ow,
Did you really say that?
like an impact.
It's true. Traumatic just occurred. No, really, somebody's actually valued.
No, I'm not talking I want to date you or anything. I just absolutely love you. So
Exactly, right.
Date, no. Love, yes.
Yes. Sometimes loving without having to date is also really valuable.
Exactly.
So, well, risk me. Thank God there was that one didn't know. Thank God that fell through the cracks. However, since everybody's experienced it before, it just happens to be the one song that everybody lit up to. So, again, big huge shout out to the team. Again, Tom Schaefer, you guys, Paula, you have a huge team there that you love and validate and value. And I will tell you, I wouldn't even be a quarter of the person I was in today without my team. So Ned Albright, Tom Schaefer, Leanne Lewis, gosh, and just over the past, week, even Beth Wilson, and Celine Bosch as photographers, they're fantastic. Tom Schaefer, again, is an awesome photographer. And Leanne Lewis has managed me for a while and is doing just an amazing job. And then
yes, he is. He did share a couple of videos with me that were I just loved.
Oh, Tom Schaefer?
Music Tom.
Yeah,
is that Schaefer? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Miami Tom. He does some great work. Really is quite talented and truly has an eye that very few people. Some photographers do photography. Tom just sees things. I mean, he would he would photograph a leaf, like an elephant ear leaf down in Florida, and I'd say, and I didn't even realize there was a water droplet on it, and he just thought that was the most amazing picture. And when you saw it on the screen, you went, how on earth did you make an elephant ear leaf look like it's magical? He's
an artist with it. I just don't know,
I love it.
Don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, it's really just, it's a gift. And again, going with that same thought pattern, you're given road, sometimes you're given a gift, and you see it, be courageous enough to live it. And it takes a lot. Not everybody can do it, but for those of you who think you can, please do. Step out of your box a little bit and just get a little uncomfortable. Somebody told me the real change and the real upward shift happens when you're really uncomfortable. And as much as I hate to admit this out loud, they are right. Don't you believe that, Paula?
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of a time, I had already had my first child and decided there was some things that I hadn't done I wanted to do education-wise. And I remember signing up how scared I was. I was almost shaking. It was, I'm thinking, oh gosh, there's a lot of these kids coming in for these courses just out of high school. They're fresh. They've got all this knowledge. I've been out of school for so long and going back to college, and it was so terrifying. I could think of a million reasons why I shouldn't do it.
Right.
And it was hard, and I pushed and I pushed, and of course I got my degree and ended up surviving.
Right.
But, as you were saying that, I remember just how terrifying that was. I had even a little pity party on the first day of school for myself on the way up there, But I found out, too, that, they had been, they had been in it, these new kids for so long. They were so burnt out, they weren't paying any attention anyway. And
Yep.
it really meant something to me, and I worked really hard and did very well.
So don't you feel like a little later in life that you honored it more?
Yeah.
I felt like I taking classes a little later. It wasn't about the A, B, C, D, and F. It was about what am I learning.
This is, too, it was something that you had said about be careful what you say to someone, because I think the biggest kick I got was a couple of different people thought, oh, you'll never do it. You don't have time. You can't. Oh, maybe you should, maybe. And do you think you're capable? Stuff like that. And then it was like, oh, try and stop me.
You're all right. Go ahead and put some gasoline on my fire because that's just what I need.
Exactly. It was like, oh, wow.
Which can be uncomfortable. Again, that's a whole judgment deal. What people believe, and that's an interesting thought pattern too. So for people who are listening again, what people think about you isn't important. I have learned that as I'm getting older, as I'm going through different seasons.
That's so true.
What I believe about me when I look in the mirror, because I know I've got moral and ethical stability and balance. When I look in the mirror at me now, I have to accept me and think things about me and love me out loud. There are going to be a billion different people out there, unfortunately, and boy, is it a yucky thing to say this, but who aren't really wishing you well. Like you saying, I'm doing this because I want to better a part of me. I want to enhance a part of me. There are a group of people around me. One friend, her name is Sonia. She's just magical. And every time I say something, that I'm doing in my life, never does she say, oh, great, that's wonderful, I enjoy that, which you hear from a lot of people. She says, go out there and get it, that's great. So she's
Good
there.
for her.
Yeah, well, because it shows, she's a very faith-oriented person, so instead of wishing you failure, she really wishes you love and light and doing good. So it's, again, going back to the original theme of what we were talking about, Paula.
Exactly, passing it around.
Yeah, we have a great opportunity to practice patience for a moment and stop and say, you know what, I really do believe and hope that this person does well. Because we should. So that's important. And again, Love Me Out Loud, the whole album.
I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of talking on the telephone. I'm tired of being who I'm supposed to be. I'd like to find that crazy side of me. I guess I'm a split personality. At least 2 and maybe 3. I'm trying a whole new thing. I got a sweet new song to say. Do you like what you see? You're looking at a brand new me. I'd like to dance in the rain, laugh when they call me insane. And when that ambulance comes, I'll just smile and show my gums. And when they take me away, I'll just smile and say, I'm trying a whole new thing. I got a sweet new song to say. Do you like what you see? You're looking at a brand new me. Let's go. just can't wear them no more. Got rid of my old automobile. Yeah, you ought to see my new set of wheels. I'm gonna chase all my dreams, no matter how crazy they seem. Keep a big grin on my face, make peace with the human race. Round and round and round we go. You can't stop me, no, no, no. I tried a whole new thing. I got a sweet new song to sing. Do you like what you see? You're looking at a brand new me. I've tried a whole new thing, yeah. I got a sweet new song to sing. I sure do like what I see. I'm looking at a brand new me.
Wow. A bit of Patsy Cline, maybe?
A little feel to that, yes.
Oh, gosh, that was sexy.
How much fun. You know what? Let me give a shout out to Dean Parks, Lee Sklar,
Absolutely.
and Herman Matthews. I will say that because they were my core team of musicians. They are A-listers in LA, and I'm not even being Gurney, throwing out names. I'm just saying straight up, they were truly amazing to work with. And we took that song, we wrote that. The song was written a week before the album, but I hadn't.
No way. Wow.
True humor for this song. I was sitting in the night before with Ned in the studio, and I had flown out 2 days before to Los Angeles from, at that time, Miami. And I'm going to tell you what, Paul, I was thinking, what are we going to do? We need it to sound different, up-tempo. What are we going to do with this? And Ned was playing around with the guitar. And he said, how about this, Cat? And he did that riff. And it felt good, what kind of on the border of Louisiana and Texas, really. It had that kind of feel to it. And I thought, this is great. He said, now, Kat, you do realize we have to record this tomorrow. I thought, oh my God. Yeah, I do realize that. I'm hoping this goes well, man. He was sweating bullets. It was funny. Dean Parks is just a scientist, as far as I'm concerned, and even Dan Hagen, who is quite good. Both Dean Parks and Dan both went to North Texas, which is one of the top, or is the top music school in the nation. And Dean has been in the industry, he's been in the industry a long time. Let's just put it that way. He's written a song with Michael Jackson. He's played on every possible
Wow.
interesting, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this. At least Sklar, began his career playing bass for James Taylor. So he was from Fire and Rain all the way through. Quite brilliant at what he does. Both of them, and Herman Matthews, Tom Jones, he played on the road with Tom Jones. He's a drummer. So we've got bass, guitar, and drums, and these guys sat in there with no ego whatsoever. They are top of their game. And truly are flown into Nashville. At least Sklar's done far over 500 albums in Nashville, Tennessee. But these guys, to sit with them, if they never picked up an instrument in their entire lives, I would love them. Because they are just amazing people. And they were fun to hang with and talk about, they're talking about Carole King and some Joni Mitchell experiences.
Yeah.
Two of my idols. Joni Mitchell is extraordinary in my book. She's just an extraordinary musician in person. And there were just some great stories that we would sit at lunch and talk stories and have some great conversation. And then just go back in there and enjoy the moment of music. Again, no ego. No needing to, play their instrument better than the next person. They were just playing to support the moment and tell the story. And there are very few musicians who have that ability. And I think because they've been in the industry for a long time, they just know how to have it, just to bring the magic. And I'm so incredibly blessed for them. And had it not been for Ned Albright, and let me flip it back to one other person, Gardner Knight, who engineered the album, I wouldn't have had any of this happen. And Gardner Knight is the one who, they always tell me I'm the hook master. I'm the one who comes up with the hooks and the chorus. The magic of it, I thought, was the verse too. And so myself and Ned make a good musical couple because I like to do the hooks and he likes to do the verses. So anyway,
So that works out good.
it works out well. But had I not had the magic of Gardner Night, hearing it and then passing it on to Ned Albright, because he wanted to, because he felt like he wanted to value and validate me and support me as a team member. And then it wouldn't have gotten to Lee Sklar and Dean Parks and then Herman Matthews. And then even for percussion, again, I don't discuss it very often, but Fernando Sanchez did a great job. Gia Cambodi and Kim Yarbrough did, and even Ned did some background vocals on it, without one person saying, hey, I really think this is worth a listen, and standing out for me. The rest of it would not have occurred. So the chain of action, the mentors among me, but among us, would not have happened had one person not said, hey, I think you should listen to this. So, this has been an incredible journey to have so many people stand up and say, hey, listen to this for a moment. I'm just curious if you like it. And then one thing turned to the next, So this has been a fun experience. I can't even begin to tell you half the stories that happen in studio, and some of the stuff I won't even say out loud because it's hysterical. But for people who know Lee Sklar, or know of him, or know, back in the day, everybody who are James Taylor fans, you have heard, undoubtedly, Lee's bass skills all the way across the board. These guys are amazing. And I'm blessed and hoping, I know Lee will play on the second album, hopefully, and I think Herman will too. We still have yet to talk to Dean to see where he's at in his touring. But hopefully we'll get them all in the same room again and enjoy the next process.
Absolutely. How did you get into music? When did you start singing?
Back in the day, again, let's go back to your Given Road. Back in the day when I was young, like knee-high to a fly, I was always in dancing and always singing. This is before I even hit my teens. And then I went away to school when I was, 14 years old. Went away to a boarding school. And at the time, I chose a school that was forefront in musical theater because that was my deal. I loved musical theater. I loved performing. I loved being on stage. And sang in an a cappella group and worked in musical theater in school for those high school years. And then interesting change, dramatic change of events happened. I went to audition for what I thought was going to turn into musical theater, and it turned into classical theater at Boston University School for the Arts. And that was a fun one, but it was a lot of intense pressure because they were number 2 on the Juilliard, and I wasn't, at the time, strong enough in my own inner constitution to really hold the edge. So, and the reason I say that is out of about 5,000, 6,000 people across the nation and beyond that were auditioned, 23 of us got in.
Wow.
It was a great honor, but in the audition, they said, I'll never forget, scared the pants off of me too. They said, we train thoroughbreds here, not quarter horses.
Oh, ouch.
Oh my gosh. And young girl in audition going, ready to vomit at that point. I'm thinking, oh man, I can do the audition. Okay.
Oh my God.
I think I'm going to run home. But I had a great friend of mine who was with me. Just so happened, Naomi, if she's listening, she's from Surrey, so she's from the United Kingdom, and my closest ally and loving friend, and she was there for the whole thing and just brought the most amazing power. She brought her power to it. She'd sit in the back, you can do this. I'm like, I don't think I can. What amazing. It could be the scariest darn day in the world, and Naomi would just punch it home. You're going to be fine. She was from outside of London.
Great gal.
Yeah, she's an incredible person. So, interesting. So I went away from music because in the classical theater world, music theater was kind of looked down upon. So I stepped away. But, I wish I had not because, again, I was straying a little too far away from my given road because classical theater is wonderful and exciting, but there was a major part of my character that was missing. So, having said that, after I left that, I went through a real shift in my life and then went through panic disorder. And flip turn, and one day I picked up my guitar again. Now, I'd been playing guitar since I was right before boarding school. My first guitar was given to me by my father, who was also played guitar and played. He was an incredible piano player. Now, he chose a little different than his given road. He wanted to take care of the family, so he chose business. But it was extraordinary, true extraordinary pianist.
So you had a musical family.
I did. My mom had an amazing voice. She was a mezzo-soprano, and again chose a little far from her given road and didn't stand true to it. Which is, sometimes we go through that moment, which is why it's such an incredible message for me to say to everybody who's listening, to do what you're supposed to be doing. And you all know gutturally. We do know. I truly believe. You don't have to be told. You truly know what you're supposed to be doing. I wish she had, because there's a side of her that's missing because she didn't. And even though my dad is successful at what he does, I think there's a side of him that's missing, based on the fact that he didn't follow through on something that was really... I used to listen to him do piano chords up and down, and Lord have mercy. Over and over again, I'd be up doing my homework, and all I'd hear downstairs is the same chord. I'm like, switch to the next 12 bars, whatever you do. I'm going insane. I'm in the middle of algebra. So, but I did a lot of music in my background in terms of family, and then in my life. And my dad gave me my first guitar was an Ovation, and with that rounded back, and it just had a wonderful, wonderful sound to it. And I think myself and a couple friends, we were all into Melissa Etheridge and the Indigo Girls, and so we did a whole lot of their music and did a whole lot of harmony-based music. And then again, I walked away from it for a while, and wish I hadn't. But then again, that's life, and it brings different sides of you out. So and maybe in a strange sort of way too. I'm kind of glad I didn't, or I did walk away, because it brought some life to the music. And you will all hear in the next album. It's all about the love. You will hear some really wonderful messages, especially it's all about the love. And for me, interesting, Paula. It's easy for me to stay in the introspective, down in the dumps place to write music. What is hard for me to do is to stay in the happy, hoorah place to write music. And this particular time, Ned sat down with me, having a cup of coffee, and he said, "Kat, I'm going to push you to stay in a different place musically." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready for it." He said, "I'm going to push you to the place. I hear you wanting to write about it, and I hear a lot of hooks around it, so let's see if we can stay in this place about love." And I thought, whoo! Okay, let's see if we can stay in love. I want to write about love. And
well, over at WeRoar.ws, our sister station, Glenn Horowitz complimented.
How you feel tonight? Look into my eyes and tell me what's on your mind. I just wanna hold you all night long. Wake up in your arms. Do you think that's wrong? But I can't. 'Cause you won't. Why don't you risk it? Fall into me tonight. Why don't you take the chance? Let go of all your wrongs and rights. Why don't you risk me? Put all your worries aside. Let down your walls, baby, please. Don't make me climb so damn high. Risk me tonight. Risk me tonight. 'cause I don't know the whole story. What went so wrong for you and why? Won't you take this chance on me, baby? Are you so afraid of what you'll find? I'm not, but you can't. Why don't you risk it? Fall into me tonight. Why don't you take the chance? Let go of all your wrongs and rights. Why don't you risk me? Put all your worries aside. Let down your walls, babe, please. Don't make me climb so damn high. Risk me tonight. Risk me tonight. I know you really wanna make sweet love to me. Feel the heat of my body as you roll with me. Why does it always seem to scare you so damn much to be in love? Don't you wanna be in love? Why don't you risk it? Fall into me tonight. Why don't you take the chance? Let go of all your wrongs and rights. Why don't you risk me? Put all your worries aside. Let down your walls, babe, please. Don't make me climb so damn high.
Another amazing song, Risk It.
My favorite one. Out of the whole one, that's gotta be my favorite. I admit it out loud.
Oh, wow.
It's been fun talking tonight.
I'm having a little more trouble hearing you. Not that much better.
Oh, no. You can't lose me right at the end.
I know. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
Is that better?
That's better. Thank
There
you.
we go. I'll eat the computer, but we can't lose me right at the end of the interview.
No. Lost her in cyberspace somewhere. Help. Help find Cat
Let
Beach.
me out of the computer. No, What
Such
fun
a beautiful,
experience.
sultry voice, and the feeling of that song comes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that particular song does. It just translates so honestly because it really was, when we vocalized it. First, when we wrote it was one thing, but when we vocalized it, oh my heavens. To record it and to perform it, oh heavens, yeah, it really, it guts you a little bit. So.
It sure does.
I think out of all the songs, that's got to be the one that I enjoy performing most because it's sensual, it's seductive, it's painful, but it's positive at the same time. So interesting cluster of emotions and feelings that you go through. So this has been,
And people can relate, and that's the whole thing.
yeah, I think theme-wise for tonight, since we've been talking a lot about valuing and validating people, just being able to truly be empathetic and sympathetic enough to other people that we do relate, that we do love out loud. In the world that we're living in today, it just seems like things are going so quickly and so, it's almost like spiraling, and I don't want to use the word out of control, but it's spiraling. I think people have a very hard time stopping for a minute, being silent for a minute, and really just taking in what's happening around them enough to be able to inspire other people. So I guess the challenge that Paula, you and I can give to people tonight is, can you stop long enough maybe meditate, or if you don't want to meditate, maybe sit with a journal and write what's going on in your head. Maybe get it out of your head onto paper. It's something I do an awful lot of. And I like to meditate. So in the moment of being able to stop long enough, you can breathe for a second, take a breather. And the reason I say that is because and this is maybe uncomfortable for a lot of people to hear, but then again, most people who know me well understand that I like to talk about the uncomfortable things. There may be a lot of people out there right now who are listening tonight who are on medication. And the medication is there for whatever purpose, whether it's, antidepressants, whether it's Valiums or Xanaxes, any type of benzodiazepine, things that are there to try to quiet the mind because we're having a hard time doing it. And I'm in no judgment of you because I've had to do those in my past. So I'll be the first one to say that sometimes, again, we have to be accountable for who we are. Enough to stop for a minute and go, oh, this may be uncomfortable, I've got to stop for a minute, because I think that if I can do that for just a couple of weeks, breathe for a moment, whether it's listen to music, write music, whatever it is you do, to stop, so that you can be good to other people around you. And Paul, I don't know if you feel this sometimes, but when we spin out of control, we've got so much going on, we get very short-tempered.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's really hard.
I tend to do that. I get in that moment where I'm just short-tempered and I fire and I go, and when that happens, I know that I need to stay silent for a moment so that I can, again, be good to people around me. So for those of you who haven't heard my album, it's not just about me, by the way. It's about the team around me that helped me create it. Again, it would not have happened without all of them. And I'm going to say all their names again in just a moment. But for those of you who haven't heard the album, find a way to download it. I mean, I'm the type of person that will say, I don't care if you even pay for it, but just download it to listen to it, because it's important to hear the message in the music. Because it's not just from me. Some of these songs come through me from other energies. I'm not being in an uncomfortable space for people to hear, but whether it's universally or whether it's coming from somebody else, whether it was a preacher or whether it was a friend that I heard a message from that came through me and I needed to give it to other people, listen to the album, because it really does it has a message in it, and I think it's a positive message towards becoming a better version of who you are, because that's, matter of fact, where it came from. For those of you who weren't listening earlier, that's where Love Me Out Loud came from. And the people I shout out to, Ned Albright, my co-writer in Los Angeles. Tom Schaefer has videoed me for 10 years and photographed me for 10 years, and so has Leanne Lewis. Well, not 10 years, but she's been there to manage me for the last number of years. For the video that just came out or is about to come out in a couple of weeks, Chris Conlon and Tim Davis, Mary Beth Davis, Nicole, Patty and Mark, you guys have been there 100% for me in this video. I'm excited about it. And the photographs that have just come out with Beth Wilson and dear Celine Bosch. They have just been great photographers, and they've done well by me, and I'm grateful for them because they are helping in the promotion. And then you have people who have played on the album and who have played on the second album: Dean Parks, Leland Sklar. Everybody knows him as Lee Sklar. Herman Matthews. Hopefully I'll have the wonderful Fernando Sanchez come on again. And Gia Cambodi. I always call her Cambochi, but it's Cambodi. And Kim Yarbrough. Gosh, these are incredible people who I've been blessed to have in my circle. And again, the message is, hey, wow. if you don't respect the team around you, even if you're working for a corporation and you just have everything negative to say, stop for a moment and be part of the, if my boat was sinking, am I going to point the finger at everybody else, or am I going to go try to plug that hole as a team member? So sometimes, oh gosh, we've strayed. I'm a full believer.
Yes.
It feels more, and I'm not sure if you feel this, Paula, but I feel like in our community at large, the stress level and the anxiety of people is so high that I don't want America to become pharmaceutical America and have to medicate everything. Stop for a minute, listen to some music, breathe for a second, try to Respect your team, the immediate people around you who love you and support you. Go ahead and get rid of the people who don't. And for 1 second of your life, mentor people. That's the biggest message I can, Had I not mentored people in panic disorder and PTSD, I'm not sure I would have gotten well. Part of my getting well was helping other people. Part of me getting well nowadays is being able to be silent so that I can breathe a little bit so I don't spiral and can't have a moment to help people. Really important. So probably Love Me Out Loud is more important now than when I wrote the album. So
Wow.
I'm verbose.
Absolutely.
I'm verbose, but there's so many messages that are important.
That's so true. Thank you so much. I mean, the message now, it's not a secret. We can share this pod as soon as it comes out. But we love these songs anyway. They're just amazing. We love playing them, but knowing the background makes it even more special.
I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to come on and talk about it, because it's so worth it to be able to just be raw and be honest about it, and just some of my ideas and thoughts on what's important for life. And lessons I've learned. Certainly, it doesn't make me a guru of any area. I hate that word, guru. Or direct line to God. There is no guru, so everybody strike that from your verbiage. But
yeah, but I know what you mean.
I don't mind sharing some of my mistakes so that other people can learn from them. So that's what I really mean. So whereas everybody told me, and let me say this honestly, I had so many people tell me in my career, do not discuss panic disorder. Don't discuss it, Kat. It'll hurt your career. And I had so many people communicate with me after I decided to go against what they said and talk about it. It didn't matter if it was going to hurt my career. What mattered is you make a difference. And maybe somebody's life is saved, because it may come to a surprise for a lot of people. But when you hear people taking their own lives, there are a lot of people who have, or I shouldn't say just soldiers, but there are a lot of people who have suffered from PTSD and don't know how to get out of the spiral. And the medication's not helping, and nobody's out there talking to them about it, saying, you're not alone, let's discuss it, you're not crazy, you're not weak. And they need that. And so if you get to be that person, if I get to be that person and talk about it, it's not embarrassing. Just be real and honest about it. And then you might have an opportunity to help somebody save their own life. Meaning they get the opportunity to not want to let go. Nobody can save your life, but you can certainly give them some energy and some knowledge that there is life after panic. There is life after PTSD. That you can live a life without being in constant fear.
I'm forgetting the years, all those years of heartache and endless pain. When the earth stopped spinning and that wind stopped blowing and you left me alone once again, I'm throwing your ashes into the wind, and pieces of you, they still cling to me. I'm putting them away in the corner of my mind and shutting that door one last time. Burning up all of my fears. Burning up all of my tears. Burn them all away. And I'll never ever waste another day. Nighting slowly, the sun is rising on a new day. Yesterdays are gone in this brand new dawn, 'cause I've burned them all away. And when the candlelight fades on the memories we've made, and I step out in that great unknown, and I'll open up my heart on my own. Burning up all of my fears. Burning up all of my tears. Burning up, burn them all away. And I'll never ever waste another day. One thing I know for sure, I'm gonna walk away and find so much more. I'm gonna look up at that starry night and thank God I had the courage to fight. Thank God I had the courage to fight. Burning up all my fears. Burning up all my tears. Burning up, burn them all away. And I'll never ever waste another day. 'Cause I'm burning up all of my fears. Burning up all of those tears. Burning up, burn them all away. And I'll never ever waste another day.
Another amazing song. I can tell by the comments in the chat line that I'm not the only one enjoying this.
A couple people want to burn up a couple years. That was the fun of
I
it.
could burn a few.
Actually, that was the humor of that song I was talking to somebody. It's funny how songwriters work. We'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody, whether on a plane or, getting a hamburger, and somebody will say something, will strike a chord in your head, and this one happened. We were discussing some sort of change experience. I was talking completely off the music experience with somebody, and they said, yeah, there are a couple of years I'd like to burn up. And I thought, oh, that's a great song. This guy thought I was a quack case. I'm like, little does he know.
That started the wheels to turning.
Did burning up all the year. Yeah, there's some you just burning up the fears, the pain, the tears. Sometimes you just want to burn them up and throw them away. Now Mitzi, who is my cousin, Mitzi Knight, had a storyline that she wanted to talk about. It was a love interest storyline. She said, "Well, can I help you write the song?" I said, "By all means, let's sit down and see what we can pin." And that's what came out of it. And then we popped it over to Ned Albright. And he took our emotional clay and he chiseled it into a great song that really is very simple. Interestingly enough, people don't, well, I shouldn't say people don't know, because people probably do know. There are songs and albums that are really strongly produced. We have a whole lot of music behind them. There's songs that are just, albums that are lyrically based. And this is one of them. I am the type of person who wants to add a mandolin and maybe a ukulele and probably, a cello and all types of instruments, because I love all instruments. And Ned, bless his soul, said to me, the lyrical message in this album is going to be far more important than all of these wonderful instruments that I know that you want to hear in them. And I said, well, okay. He said, so let's make the first album a classic moment where people can actually listen to the lyrics and have the music just support the lyrics, but they can really hear them and really digest them. And of course, I'm thinking, no. But he was right. He was right. He said, I don't want to.
He was right.
He didn't want to put, 1970-something, 1980-something, 1990-something to it. He just wanted it to stand alone for a lyrical, food for people. So grateful for that moment, because he really did hold me back, and sometimes that's important.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
Too many instruments into it. You and I were talking, Paula, over the break about an obligation to change things. And so I know I don't have a lot of time left on the show, but I want to end with something important to say. And it's hard for me to stand by it, but I know it's important for me to stand by it and to say it. if we don't like the way the world is, and we don't like the way our immediate world is, we have an obligation to change it for ourselves and for the immediate people around us. And that's been really hard for me to chew on, because that obligation means that I've got to quit complaining about certain things and actually take action to change them. And so Love Me Out Loud, and also, of course, we were talking earlier about Stand Up America, that's really what the message is. If I were going to be a voice of change for the moment, that's what I would say. If you don't like it, you have an obligation to change it. Why? Because really, why are you going to sit and complain about something and really just bring yourself in a spiral down if you have an opportunity to stand up and make a difference? So,
True.
that's a message to myself, and I'm saying it out loud because, of course, I have to live and die by that too. But also send out to people listening. You know, this album, go ahead and listen to it. If you have a moment to download Love Me Out Loud, please do. Maybe have a cup of coffee if you don't drink, or a glass of wine if you do, and just kind of listen to the journey, the journey of change in the album from the first 10 songs. You'll notice one song on there is Big Yellow Taxi. It's Joni Mitchell. She's one of my idols. Carole King and Joni Mitchell are two people that I idolize. And I will say that the message in the music really is about the obligation to change it if you don't like it. And so I think we all could learn that lesson. And also earlier on when we were discussing the opportunity to practice patience and make a difference in somebody's day, golly gee, that would be great if we could all do that. Even the moment, just to look at check out gal or guy or somebody at the front desk or just a friend, and just stop them and say, hey, how you having a good day? That it matters. Just to stop for a moment and breathe. So I'm saying that to myself as much as I'm saying that to everybody else too. So I'm grateful you had me on, Paul.
Oh, it's been an honor to have you, Kat.
This has been a fun experience for me, and I always like the opportunity to be able to make a difference and be able to help people see past some of the immediate ouch.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know, do you have time to play one more song, or are we?
I sure do.
You know what might be kind of a fun song for people to hear? It's kind of a trajectory, a little difference. Is Mercy of Your Hands. Do you happen to have that one in your queue?
It's up next. Yep.
That's a good one. I think that's a worthwhile one to listen to too.
You might want to say goodbye. We roar.
Let's get real, right here, right now. Strip down to your last doubt. Expose your fear. Let's get open now. Drop down your heavy gear. The sun's just rising up over yonder. And it's all so clear. I've been running so long from myself, and I feel like I could use a little help. Hiding behind the same old stories in my mind, trying hard to cross that finish line. Rock and roll me on this journey. Play me like a fiddle at the mercy of your hands. But when the end comes, I sure hope you've been listening. 'Cause while you've been running, you forgot to hold out your hand. I built it all up just to have a look around. I stood so firmly on some very shaky ground. Now I'm trembling, not so sure of my footing. These stairs I'm climbing have come tumbling down. And I'm smiling, 'cause the pain is so damn bad. and I know I'm never ever coming back. And I'm free, free in my mind to go anywhere I want to. Just one more time, rock and roll me on this journey. Play me like a fiddle at the mercy of your hands. But when the end comes, I sure hope you've been listening. 'Cause while you've been running, you forgot to hold out your hand. Stop the madness, stop the war. Yeah, I said stop the madness, stop the war. Stop the madness.